You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And this is Saturday, January the 12th, and you have indeed entered overtime. And days like this are exactly why I truly love my job. Today's local schedule was nothing short of the height of decadence in terms of both quality and quantity, and seemingly impossible to cover from a logistical standpoint. Emphasis on that word seemingly, because in our world, that simply means game on. We'll start you off tonight with a battle of state-ranked powers at Blue Devil Gymnasium. Quincy High School and Marion, battle of brothers. Mike Taylor bringing his team in to face Sean's Blue Devils. Mike's team ranked 4th in the state. Early on, Quincy High cold, but Connor Mellon looks to jumpstart the de-icing process with a great move in the low blocks. However, Kijana Crawford from the outside starts what would be an onslaught in the first half for Marion. The answer back the other direction from the big fella, Jason Saurin, high post jumper. It was good, but look at this fella. This guy is Joshua Cohn, and Quincy High in the first half had no answer for this kid, as Quincy High at this point was down 18, and it just seemingly would get worse, although there's Cole Abbey to kind of stem some of the bleeding. Great move by the little swing man right there. Second half, down big. Quincy High makes a little bit of a run in the third period in this one, starting with Mason Fairley and then ending up neatly right here with Martin Gavitli. Unfortunately, in the fourth quarter, boy, this Marion team was just flat good. They dropped the hammers. Quincy High falls. This doesn't happen often. They get blown out at Blue Devil Gym. 60-39 was your final. Meanwhile, across town, Jacksonville Q&D Crimson coach J.R. Dugan confided to me tonight he's not real fond of the pit. Hasn't won there since the '86 Brawl game when he was a player. Alex Fitch didn't make him feel very welcome tonight. Scored Q&D's first 6 points against the Crimsons, but here comes the Crimson attack. Love Brendan Barlow. Great outside shooter. Great bucket for him from the outside for the three right there. And then it's Josh Peak. Look at him, the big 6'4" point guard, making things happen as Jacksonville crawls back to within one. Q&D, though, had answers. Nick Dietrich, you go work it, kid. Great shot for him as he takes it up amongst the tall timber, gets that bucket to fall. Then it's Sam Douglas. Look at this, three-pointer plus tonight, bucket and 2 Band-Aids for him. That's a 4-point play for Sam, and that's when Q&D would start building some separation. Big night for Alex Fitch. He had 20 points. And despite playing against guys who were physically about twice his weight tonight, Fitch just took it to him. 16-6 at this point in favor of Q&D. Second quarter, the Crimson, though, claw back. This is El Presidente, Andrew Jackson, with a great take up and under. You know him as a great pitcher, can play a little basketball as well. But here comes Q&D. Chris Dietrich outside triple. And then Matt McPherson's going to punctuate things as only Matt McPherson and all 6'9" of him can. With a slow down, hit the brakes, the guys will fly right past you, dunk at the other end. Q&D survives a late comeback from Jacksonville, but Q&D gets the win, beats the Crimsons, and J.R. Dugan doesn't want to come back anytime soon to the pit. Dugan's team gets beat tonight 52-47. That's what, 3 straight losses in a row for the Crimsons, who have hit some tough skids of late. Let's take a look at some other scores. You can see J.R. is clearly unhappy at that point. Let's take a look at some other scores if we can for you. In Missouri today, it was the Hannibal Pirates losing to Marshall by the final count in that one of 70-65 in that ball game. Dalton Powell had 26 points to help lead his team to victory, so congratulations to Dalton Powell. Also today, we've got another score to pass along for you. Mark Twain wins on a Garrett Jarman free throw, or actually a field goal at the end of regulation, as it would be Mark Twain beating Clopton. Final count in that one was 51-50. Well, we still had unfinished tournament business to attend today, including a true county championship brewing in Warsaw, as both Keokuk and West Hancock entered this final night of the Hancock County Warfare with both unblemished records. And if you know your history, you know how good a Reno Pinks and Jeff Dahl coaching confab can be. Those guys, they've got some history, as we mentioned. This game, very, very strange, even by Jeff Dahl, Reno Pinkston standards in this one. Early on, Austin Hardy gets things started for West Hancock. Hardy from the 3, yes, hits the corner ball and knocks that home. Keokuk, though, answering. Dan Williams had the hot hand early for his team. He's an athletic young man and knocks that jumper down right there. Then it's the big fella, Kendall Clark, just lumbering in the paint. Nobody can guard all 6'9", 270-plus pounds of him. Great move, very efficient, taking it up. Trevor Knight, though, with the answer after one right here with the 3 to put the Titans up at that point 11-10 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter, Johnny Dahl trying to spark his Keokuk Chiefs to life. Going to work the larceny and the layup, going coast to coast, transcontinental, if you will. Beautiful bucket for him. Paxton Harmon, though, and West Hancock would build a huge lead going into the second half of this ball game. Harmon, just a scorer extraordinaire, hits that jumper, and then it's Harmon working from the baseline drive. The Titans led by 11 in the second half, only to collapse in a major, ugly way in the fourth quarter. Keokuk comes all the way back. Johnny Dahl with a key three-pointer down the stretch, and Keokuk is your Hancock County tournament champions tonight by virtue of that miraculous comeback. The Chiefs get bragging rights for this year, even though they're not really in Hancock County. Good for the Chiefs. Nice win for them as they're kind of putting some things together. The only tournament game we could not get to today was the championship game of the WIT at Winchester. It turned out to be a really good one. Liberty built a very big lead in this ball game. Payson Seymour made a great rush in the second half, just couldn't quite get over the top. So congratulations to Andy Douglas's crew. They are your tournament champions this year. Michael Blewett leading the way in that ball game with 22 points. The news, not really good for Pittsfield as they opened up play at the Jerseyville tournament just down the road. It would be Pittsfield getting beat by Cahokia 59-45 was your final in that ball game. Big event going on in town today, wrestling. Semifinals of the Quincy High Invitational. We'll start you off at 106 with West Hancock freshman Will Lucy, and this kid is a beast, taking on Dylan Lee of Canton. Will got behind 2-0 early, but rallied like a champ. The takedown to tie right here, then up 5-3. Will would punctuate with back points as the final buzzer hits. Lucy wins an 8-3 decision tonight, but gets beat in the championship match, so ends up with a second-place finish. No shame for Will Lucy, one of the most promising young wrestlers in the entire area. His big brother Jack trying to repeat as a champion here at 126, taking on Dallas Terry of Burlington. Jack hits the first takedown, but got kind of loose with it, and here comes Terry reversing him to tie things up at 2. That only would just make Jack really angry. And this is Jack's unrequited anger going to work right here as he will take this kid down, keeping him neatly in the ring at that point to avoid the escape. Then it's back points time, and plenty of them for Jack Lucy. He does this so well, tilts his kid into position and just leaves him there for the 5 count. He's not done yet. One more time, up 15-3 at this point. Jack just going to get that wing, turn it around like it's Kentucky Fried Chicken, and he's going to feast right there, taking him out with an 18-3 tech fall. Congratulations to Jack Lucy, who not only won the semifinal today, but went his way on into the championship to repeat 2 years in a row. Also today, big match right here at 138 pounds. Quincy Notre Dame's Gage Stevens against Alton's Nick Deloche. This was fantastic. Just nonstop action for 45 seconds until Gage Stevens decides he's had quite enough of the tomfoolery and the poppycock. He sits down, pins the kid. Very impressive win for Gage Stevens. Unfortunately for Gage, he ended up suffering a loss at 138 in the finals. Second place, though, a very good showing for Quincy Notre Dame. Match of the day at any weight, 170. Rematch in the semifinals between Dakota Downs and Zach Abney. Downs won the first one, and Downs left no doubt about it in this one. Early takedown, and it seemed like Zach Abney wasn't the same after that. Here goes Downs again, another takedown, and then all of a sudden, he's got Abney in a spot of bother, and Dakota Downs is not only going to beat Zach Abney, #1 ranked wrestler in Class 1, he is going to pin him to make this a most emphatic victory, and Dakota Downs later in the night would score a pinfall victory with 1 second left in overtime to take not only the championship of the Quincy High Invitational, but to be named its most outstanding wrestler. Great weekend for Dakota Downs. You heard us talking about him earlier this week. Phenomenal young man, great young wrestler, and he's really hit the height of his powers. One more to show you at 195. This is Jeff Haley of Quincy Notre Dame escaping his semifinal. He got down early as well. I think he was down 2-0, but all of a sudden, Jeff Haley at the end of regulation looked like he was going to get the pin, got the back points he needed, got the win today. Unfortunately for Jeff, ended up finishing in second place, losing his championship bout, but Quincy Notre Dame with a nice showing as a team as well. Also want to pass along, as we showed you earlier, our roll call of champions. Congratulations to Jack Lucy and Dakota Downs, both showing out very nicely today, putting out a great effort in what was a fantastic event. Kudos to Phil Neely and his staff over at Quincy High, one of our favorite events of the year, and they certainly do it upright. Want to pass along one other wrestling note today. Congratulations to Hannibal's Colby Callings at 145 pounds today. He was named the champion of the St. Charles West tournament. The only pirate to win first place, Jake Boardmeyer, the outstanding heavyweight, apparently took it injury default in the championship at 285 and had to scratch out from there on. But we are just getting started and warmed up here on Overtime, as it's a battle of the Quincy powers today as the Blue Devils and Lady Raiders square off, plus all your day's college doings are next. Trust me, you don't want to go anywhere.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar, brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everybody. I've retained what's left of my voice, at least through the first block here at Overtime. This cold's killing me, but we're going to get through it. And here's a novel concept. Two schools from the very same city playing each other in high school basketball. No politics, no excuses, just hoops. There's a lot here to be learned from the Lady Raiders and Lady Devils, now in the third year of their renewed rivalry, which took place today at Blue Devil Gym. And we take you to the highlights where, tell you what, this turned out to be a pretty interesting start and turned out to be a bit of a chippy affair as well. That, my friends, is Misha Ferguson-Smith, by the way, from Quincy High, going on a full-ride academic scholarship to Stanford. Very impressive young lady. Speaking of impressive, this was Angel Bradford right out of the gate. That's how you break the press. Beautiful take for her. Kiss off the glass. Her first foray was good. This one didn't work out quite so well, as Q&D would come up with the rebound, and at the other end, it is Kristen Gengenbacher with the take. Nice bucket right there, and Q&D is about to start to get on track. This is Cassidy Foley attacking from the wing. She rebounds her own miss and kisses that home. We're not done yet. Kristen Gengenbacher again playing some defense right here, and she's going to find the Mizzou signee. That's Jordan Frericks with a nice take as well. Jordan had a big day today as well. She finished with 19. Finally, late in the first quarter, Araya Dade, Quincy High's best scorer, kind of gets loose, but might have been too little too late at that point because Jordan Frericks was just letting it all go at that point. Great take there. Then she misses the free throw, but look at Jordan there. She beats everybody for the rebound and the putback. That's why she's your reigning KHQA Player of the Year, and that's why she's a Division I talent. More to come right here. This is a beautiful bucket from Quenna Keating as well, off the nice pass. As I told you, Araya Dade kind of got started late scoring, and that really hurt Quincy High because they really had no answers for Q&D's defense. Q&D wins and goes to 13-0 on the season. The Lady Raiders get this victory by the final count of 74-39. We had a tournament championship tonight on the girls' side to talk about, as well as Brad Begeman's Unity Lady Mustangs looking for their first ever Lady Panther Classic title. And away we go in this one. Jill Donnelly kind of setting the tone. We talked about this on Doorisms last night. When Unity's hitting the three-pointers, they become very dangerous. Jill Donnelly doing that there. And how about this? Nice pass to Miss Kaler for the easy bucket right there. The Lady Mustangs holding for the one and bonus jumper right here to beat the buzzer. Oh, Brianne Begeman and company were just simply kind of just in attack mode at this one. Good stuff all the way around, as it would be Unity picking up the big victory. Great, great night for the Unity Mustangs. Their first ever tournament championship as they get the big win. Going away in this ball game as Brooklyn Moore, I think, led all scorers with 15 points. She had 7 rebounds. Brianne Begeman, 13 points, 8 rebounds, as it was all about the Lady Mustangs. Much to celebrate for them. And speaking of the Lady Mustangs, while we're on the subject, it's once again Con Communications Connection Time, where we put up 4 outstanding sports couplings for your perusal. And at the end of the month, you get to choose and vote for the best of the lot. And as an incentive for you to vote, anyone who participates in the process becomes eligible to win a great prize package from Con Communications. So here's your segue. Brianne Begeman, game winner shot. You know what? Unity's kind of had a knack for this. Jill Donnelly did it earlier this season against Palmyra. This time it's Brianne Begeman to beat the buzzer, to beat the clock, and to beat Biggsville West Central. And yes, she is one very excited young lady. Seems like buzzer beaters are all the rage here on the Con Communication Connection these days. We'll look at it one more time. She got it off in time. It's a beautiful, beautiful, true shot, and that will work out very well. So that is your second buzzer beater of the period for January. The other provided by Camp Point Central's Douglas Weiss. And at the end of the month, remember, you'll have a chance to vote for your favorite and a chance to win. Let's talk some scores now. Pittsfield today, this was the only score we got out of the Lady Spartan Classic, but we can tell you Pittsfield Pleasant Hill loses to WFNB in overtime 49-47. Notable in this game is the fact that Shay O'Brien is back from her appendectomy and obviously showing no ill effects. She had 34 of her team's 47 points today. Shay O'Brien can flat light it up. Also on the docket today in Missouri, couple of games to pass along. Mark Twain gets beat by Red Hot Clopton Great stat line from Kinsey Grossman, but Clopton, one of the hottest girls basketball teams in the area right now. I think that's 7 in a row, maybe. Clopton wins 53-32 over Mark Twain, or 7 out of 6, I think, as it is. But great job by the Clopton Lady Hawks. Also, Hannibal today at home in an afternoon matinee loses to the Marshall Lady Owls 33-30. We've got more wrap-up fun to talk about. How about your 5th place game today at the Winchester Invitational Tournament? It was a low-scoring affair, so to speak, between Central and West Central. Cullen Vandevelde right here gets into the lane, finishes with the left hand. Marcus Landis, though, answering, drawing a triple team, and then leaving Jason Dormeyer. That's how you do it, sharing like a good sharer does. Open for the 2 at that point. Corey Barnett, all-tournament team member. This guy was scoring ridiculously, although he was held to 9 today. That was the high score for the team, which kind of gives you a sort of idea of how low-scoring this affair turned out to be. Austin Bays then working it on the fast break at the other end. West Central beat Central today by the final count of 36-24 to take 5th place at the Winchester Invitational. Meanwhile, consolation championship. This was actually a really good pairing. Griggsville Perry and Rout. Todd Bradshaw letting people have it as he sometimes does. Rout was the 2 seed coming in, upset early, trying to get something back in this one. Brett Long, the big fella, all 6'7" of him. He gets the and 1 right there. Rockets up 22-21 at the half. All Tornadoes in the second. Levi King right here, finding some space for 2 of his 16 points on the game. King again, baseline, requited. Beautiful bucket for him. He led all scorers with 16, as I said. Then he's going to do some sharing as well, finding Matthew Kennedy, who's going to spin free and knock down the jumper as well. And it would be the consolation championship in kind of upset fashion to Griggsville Perry, a team that has run very hot at times and very cold. Today, they were hot. Griggsville wins by the final count of 48-32. I've got one more for you. Hancock County Tournament wrap-up, because we love tournament play. Unity and Southeastern. And right here, Shea Flessner goes up and under, and the Suns would lead at the half. Unity, though, about to throw down the throttle in this one. Thomas Donley gets the tip off the missed bucket. He's going to score. Then it's Alex Blickhand hitting a runner from the right side to put Unity back up in this ball game in the second half. Shea Flessner and company try to answer. It's Flessner playing big man distributor. He's going to find Matthew Ramsey, or actually take one from Matthew Ramsey. Great assist, great finish, but Andrew Doyle and Unity find a way to finish this thing off in the end. 56-52 was your final in that ball game. And when we come back, we have all your college highlights here on Overtime. Don't go anywhere. And look how tech-savvy we are here at KHQA. My buddy Barry Wright just sent me a text that said Carrollton beat the Rout girls to win the North Green Ladies Spartan Classic, and Winchester West Central beat Litchfield for 3rd place. Now let's talk college. Western Illinois wins its 11th straight game today, this one on the road at Nebraska-Omaha. That 11-game win streak is the longest for the Leathernecks since they turned Division I. Boy, I tell you what, Coach Moe and company are just getting it done. They're back home for a couple of big ones coming up this week. Go out and see them at Western Hall. Let's do some men's college basketball. We'll get to Culver Stockton in just a second. Those highlights a little bit behind, but we'll start with the Quincy University men against number 10 Southern Indiana, undefeated, or not undefeated, but very, very good. Great team. The Doodle Bops were watching early. Here, my friends, is Jens Kennedy starting off the Hawks right, and then it's Tyler Thompson. Had himself a really nice day. He's going to get the hard take right here. He is going to gather a little scar tissue as well as the bucket, but the good take here as Quincy University was down by a sizable margin, but they're going to make a bit of a comeback in this game. Scott Hahn, it is the wrath of Hahn as he finds the bank shot wide open, and then it's Dalton Hoover. Tell you what, after being down huge in the first half, Quincy University made this a heck of a ball game in the second half as Nate Desjardins going to come up and knock down a jumper here as well. Quincy University, though, falls to the number 10 team in the country. Final count in this one was 78-70. Also today, John Woodman in action. We'll take you to the highlights of them against North Central. It starts off with a Darius Porter going up, getting free, and just backing his way in for the easy 2. Brad Hamilton, though, the story of this game, former KHQA Player of the Year, Pittsfield product, the 3. Boy, he couldn't miss threes today. More on that in just a second. He hits the wing again, had 5 threes in the first half, 9 in all. The more impressive part of that, on his 27 points, he only took 10 shots today. All of them from three-point range, and you know what? He hit 9 of them. That's 90%. He's pretty darn good. I tell you what, great day for him. Good day for TJ Tisdale as well, as John Wood takes care of business, beating North Central 84-51. Let's try those Culver Stockton highlights if we can right now. Battle of nationally ranked ball clubs today, number 13 versus number 24 in the country. And right off the bat, oh, there's Houdini, Marshawn Norris. Great take. and great bucket for him, and he's not done yet. Houdini, do your magic again from the outside for the three. And early on, Culver Stockton had the lead in this ball game. They're fighting still. James Johnson in transition. This bucket doesn't look pretty, but eventually it's going to find the home member's roll and go home for him. And then on the outside, it's Alan Hadzimahovic going to work and then get inside and finally clean up his own mess right there. Austin Keaton with the three from outside. But after this little flourish early on, Evangel kind of took command of the first half. In fact, they'd go on a vicious run to end the first half, build a 9-point lead. They really wouldn't look back in this ball game. Culver Stockton loses its second straight game and its second since receiving the national ranking. Culver Stockton down by 10 today, 76-66 was your final in that ball game. Some men's scores to pass along on the day. Illinois College, boy, there's really no pretty way to put it. They lose to St. Norbert in ugly fashion, 95-59 on the road. Also today, HLG a loser to Harris Stowe by 10, 80-70. How about the women's side? There's where Southern Indiana was undefeated. The Lady Hawks, though, up 4 on this game. And that, in this business, is called foreshadowing. Kelly Burrish, nice finish right here. And then the cold snap. But then Maggie Cunningham would end it from the outside with a three. But the true catalyzing moment in this ball game comes courtesy of Lucy Cramsey. She's going to break out something she used to do at Liberty that we just like to simply call the move. She's got this in the repertoire. It's patented, and it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful take for her. Up, under, and spins it off the window. Are you kidding me? Double-double for the Liberty product today, who had 13 points and 15 rebounds. Remember, she's a two-guard. Other big story today, Hannah Weidman, outside, inside, everywhere. She had 21 points today and 5 ribs. I'll tell you what, you can't beat Quincy University right now. They're undefeated in conference play, now 4-0. Another upset victory today, if you want to still call it an upset. Big win for the QU women, 66-62 was your final there. A couple of other scores to pass along in the day. Western Illinois undefeated at home, another big win, this time over Nebraska Omaha, 71-44 is your final. JD Gravina's team is now 2-2 in conference play. Also, Culver Stockton with a win at home behind Keokuk products Chelsea Stanley, who had 11 points. Former KHQA Player of the Year Tiffany King with a nice day in a loss for Illinois College as the Lady Blues get beat up pretty bad at St. Norbert. 65-39 was your final there. HLG a loser to Harris Stowe. North Central today knocks off John Wood, 62-55. We do have one winner for you. Southeastern women hang on to beat Ellsworth, 53-52.